It's been a while since I've done one of these. A lot of it has to do with there's no new movies coming out. I have to take these off. It always messes with the glare. As you can see, I lost the long goatee, and I'm look like somebody who Chris Hansen would try to catch in an internet sting now. Anyway, I'm gonna make this quick because I'm filming on my iPhone because I don't feel like getting the camera out. I think there's I don't know. I think I have limitations. I watched 2 movies this past week, or actually in the last 2 days. Neither one I had seen before, and both had been out on Blu-ray for quite a while. And I really felt the need to give my opinions on them. My cat is going to try and knock down. Come here. Say hi to everybody. Say, there's my cutie. Yeah, she's going to try to knock behind here and knock down the phone, so that's going to be pretty funny. So, I saw 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. Now, as evidenced, I'm a big fan of shark movies, especially ridiculous shark movies. Don't get me wrong, the best shark movie ever made is Jaws, a completely serious one. I always stand by that. Jaws is not only the best shark movie, it's one of the best films ever made, top 25 for me easily. One of the very few films I can watch all the time. But I saw the first 47 Meters Down, and I did not like it. Now, I know when I film over there, you see we have a poster on the wall for it. That's because we got it for free, and it just kind of looks cool. Not a big fan of the first movie. Mostly because it was a good idea. The idea of that movie and the things they wanted to do were pretty good. It was just very poorly executed, very poorly written, and very poorly directed. It had actors in it that I've seen be good in other movies, so I know that their bad acting was not their fault. It was the director. And the same director directed 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. This movie sucked. Because it's one of those movies that makes you mad because the idea, this is like a group of girls are going to go, or a group of high school students are going to go on one of those boats where there's an underwater thing with windows all around it, and they were going to go watch great white sharks. These other girls decide, hey, we're going to go to this other swimming hole, and we're going to go look at like an Incan, I think it was Aztec, temple that had been submerged underground and covered in water. Now, me personally, I would love to see something like that. So that idea is very intriguing. So the idea behind this film is good. The director should have given the idea to somebody else and then let them make the movie. None of it was scary. The shark looked terrible. The only parts of the movie I liked is in the last 10 minutes there's some excitement. Some stuff finally actually happens. Now, don't get me wrong, some of the kills during the movie are good, and they're fun to watch. But it's like, it's just not enough. Like, I can't watch a movie that's wholly boring me just because a couple of the murders are good. And there is a scene where 2 sharks tear a girl in half, and it's well done. I'm not going to say it's not. The acting is abysmal in this film, but once again, I don't blame these people not one bit because there's no way all of them could have been bad. I guarantee they're all better in other things. This didn't do it for me, and I'm not going to spoil the movie because it is a newer. If this movie had been out for 5 or 6 years, I'd spoil it, but it's only been out for like a year or so. In the end, there's a scene on that boat, and that gets really good, actually. It's like, okay, the 80 minutes we spent, I spent checking out and then looking on my phone. Well, okay, now we're going to do something, and then it just abruptly ends. And you're like, there's some aftermath here. Were stories that were planted in the beginning that we need to see the end of, and that's where poor writing and poor directing come in. So, great idea, because I love shark movies, and this movie, with a couple of rewrites, could have been better. It wasn't. I'd like to see a competent filmmaker, take this and do something with it, because they just didn't do anything with it. So, I'd pass on that one. If you liked the first one, you'll like this, because it's not the same movie, but it's presented the same way. And the same director, same writer, and all that. Now, I also watched, and I was hesitant to watch this film, Birds of Prey. I'm not going to read the entire title because I just don't feel like it. A comic book nerd. Obviously, there's Wonder Woman back there, Superman up there, and wall of El Wallow Batman. I expected this movie to suck because of everything I'd heard about it. And I'll be honest, in Suicide Squad, one of the things I liked the least, and I love Margot Robbie as an actress. I think she is one of the greatest actresses in the business today, hands down. It wasn't Harley Quinn for me. That's not the case in Birds of Prey for me. As a comic book fan, I thought this was a much better depiction of what Harley Quinn is supposed to be. She was much more Harley Quinn in this movie. The movie surprised me because I expected it to just be terrible, but they took a lot of actual real comic book plots. And yeah, they had to change a couple things. Like, Ewan McGregor played the Black Mask. Easily, probably the best performance in the film, but it's Ewan McGregor. He's great in everything. I just watched him in the movie Doctor Sleep, and if anybody wants to hear me talk about Doctor Sleep, I will, because I could go on about that forever, because I fucking loved that movie. I did not love Birds of Prey, don't get me wrong. It is no Wonder Woman. It's no Shazam or Aquaman or even Joker, which blew my mind how good that movie ended up being. But the movie was fun, I thought. It got ridiculous, but it was supposed to be. As a comic book nerd, I felt like I was watching a comic book happen in a movie. And that's what I want. That's what I liked so much about Shazam. This is like I'm watching a comic book. One of the reasons why I defend the Joel Schumacher Batman films, because it feels like you're inside of a comic book. The movie was goddamn ridiculous. Like, at one point, and it calls itself out, which is great. There's a point where Harley Quinn comes out on skates, and they're like, where the hell did she have time to put on skates? Would anybody see her do that? And I urge people to give it a chance. If you haven't been into the DC films that have come out in the last, 6-7 years, you're not going to like this movie. If you're not too familiar with the source material, you're not going to like this movie. Yes, there were some issues. These aren't the Birds of Prey. I've read the Birds of Prey comics, and the characters are much different. But I'm one of those people that if you change some of the source material, but you also keep some, I can accept it if it's an entertaining film. I'm one of the few people that defends Man of Steel. I know they changed a lot, but I still enjoyed that film. So, do I recommend Birds of Prey? If you're into comic book movies, or if you just like over-the-top performances that are fucking ridiculous. I'm going to see a movie that's admittedly ridiculous, that knows how fucking insane it's getting. I highly recommend it. I had a lot of fun watching it. I would give it like a solid B. Where like Wonder Woman for me was like almost an A+. This was like an 82 out of 100. Not fantastic, but given what my expectations were, much better. That's it for those. If you'd like to see me talk about any of the other movies I mentioned, Joker, Doctor Sleep, just comment. I'm going to put this up on YouTube and Facebook. I never get that many hits on YouTube. It ends up getting watched a ton on Facebook. I don't know why. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed my hairy face, and I will see you next time.